Hello my friends and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you 23 books that I want to read in 2023. Now if you're wondering, Erin, didn't you do that video at the beginning of 2022? You're right, I did, and I did not do very well at my little challenge. I think I have like 9 books left on that list to read, and I'll be honest, I went about this little challenge so poorly. Really what I did is I looked at books that had been on my shelf a really long time and books that I really wanted to read but I never really pick up, and so I put them on my 22 for 2022 in hopes of thinking that I would miraculously read them for some odd reason. That was a mistake because I know myself and I know that I don't tend to do that very well and I don't stick to lists very well. So for this video, I went about picking my 23 books a little bit differently. What I really did was look at books that I had really wanted to read this year, but I A, ran out of time, B, I just wasn't feeling it in that moment when I thought about picking them up, or C, they're just authors that I already know I really enjoy and I want to read more books by them this year. So this list is going to look a lot different than my list for this year, I guess, 2022. So if you're wondering why it's so vastly different, it's because I realized that I did not do a very good job at making my list for this year. So I learned from my mistakes and I am going to fix it, and hopefully this will be an easier kind of goal for me in the year of 2023. These are books that I do see myself reaching for and I actually do want to read. So yeah, I just wanted to give that little disclaimer just because I feel like I went about it wrong for 2022 and I wanted to kind of look at this challenge in a different way. Let's get into the 23 books I want to read in 2023. The first book on this list is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. This October I read Practical Magic because I really love the movie and I wanted to see what the differences between the book and the movie were. I've seen a lot of people say that the Practical Magic book, that first one, isn't everyone's favorite. I do want to continue the series and I picked up The Rules of Magic. I believe this follows the lives of the ants and this is more of like a prequel, so I'm interested to give this one a chance and see if I enjoy it a little bit more than I enjoyed Practical Magic. I still enjoyed Practical Magic, I did like it, it's just not quite what I expected it to be. So now that I feel like my expectations are a little bit different and I kind of know what to expect from the series a bit more, I am looking forward to reading the rest of them, and I figured I'll probably read this in 2023 and I am excited to read it, so I added it to my list. Next up is Earthlings by Sayaka Morata. So this has been on my TBR for a while. A lot of you have recommended this to me because it is supposed to be totally bonkers. I don't really know the plot. I think it's about the main character can talk to this little like stuffed hedgehog, like she thinks that the hedgehog is talking to her or something like that. I don't really know. I want to go in with like no idea what's going on. I have a reading vlog in mind that includes this book. I've had it in mind for a while and I never got around to it in the last few months of 2022, so I'm going to bump it up into 2023 and I am really excited for this book. I've heard it's totally crazy, totally insane. I want to read it so bad. It sounds insane and I like insane in my horror, so I think it sounds like a lot of fun and I'm just really excited to give it a try. The next one is Stranger Things Happen by Kelly Link. This was a total cover buy on my part. I just think this cover reminds me of Nancy Drew so badly and I love it. I love the way this cover looks and I really got into short story collections this year. I don't know why, but I love short story collections and I've just wanted to devour them lately, and so I kind of want to continue that into 2023 and just read more short story collections, especially since I have so many of them now. I also have an idea for this book in mind for a reading vlog. I have a lot of reading vlogs planned up here in my head. I don't really know what kind of horror this is going to be. I don't know what to expect. I've never read anything from this author, but I don't know. There's just something drawing me to it and I'm really mad that I didn't get to this year, so I'm definitely moving this into a must read for 2023. And up next we have The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. We all know that I read The Sundown Motel this year and I fell head over heels in love with it. I know that's kind of like an unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people didn't love The Sundown Motel, but I did. I loved Simone St. James's writing, and I just know that I want to read everything she writes, and this is the last one I physically own that I have to read from Simone St. James, so I think it just makes sense that I include this in my 2023 books to read because I just feel like I'm gonna really enjoy it. And a lot of people think this is her best book. I don't know if it can beat The Sundown Motel for me because I really love that one, but I have high hopes for this one and I do think I'll really enjoy it, so I'm very excited to get to this one. The Between by Tananarive Due. I think we all know that I fell in love with The Good House this year. It was amazing, and just Tananarive Due's writing is so incredibly immersive and just so beautifully like dark. It was an incredible book. I became obsessed with it the minute I finished it, and it was just a perfect 5-star haunted house story for me. It was incredible, and so I immediately bought The Between after reading The Good House because I just knew I wanted to read more from Tananarive Due, and I have been trying to read this for like 3 months because every time I put it on my TBR I never get to it, and it's actually kind of really irritating me because I don't know why my brain won't let me just pick it up and read it because I really want to read it. So I'm putting it on my 2023 TBR because I know I will read it. I know I will because I just want to so bad, but that way it's in writing so I can, you know, I can make my brain look at that list and be like, see, it's on there. You gotta read it now. You want to, you know you want to, read it. Next up we have The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. So this was actually sent to me for a review and I never got around to it, and I'm actually mad about it because I have seen so many mixed reviews about this book. I have seen people that straight up love this book. They're obsessed with it. They thought it was amazing and brilliant and wonderful. And then I've seen people that are like, this was not a good book. And that makes me want to read a book even more when I see so many differing opinions about it. I have to know what it's like. I just want to know which category I fall into. I just have to know. And so, you know, I want to bump it up on my TBR. I want to bump it up and remind myself that I have it and that I actually do really want to read this book. I actually don't know what this one's about, I'll be honest. I've only read A Head Full of Ghosts from Paul Tremblay, but I really, really loved that one. So I am excited to give another book of his a go. The next is The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. This has been on my TBR for, again, a while, but I really, really, really like Lisa Jewell's thrillers. For some reason, they are extremely predictable, and usually that would bother me so badly in thrillers because I hate predictability in thrillers. It really, like, it ruins the experience for me. But for some reason, Lisa Jewell, her characters, the way she writes, I don't even care. I'm just like, yep, okay, you sucked me in. I gotta know what happens. Even though I think I know what happens, I'm just gonna keep reading because I gotta know what's coming next. A lot of people have told me this one is their favorite and they enjoyed it a lot. So I feel like this should be the next Lisa Jewell that I check out just because, I don't know, if the majority is loving it, I feel like that makes me want to read it even more. But yeah, I'm just really excited to read it because, again, I just really like Lisa Jewell's writing and I really like the way she writes her characters, and I like her plots most of the time. Even if they're predictable, I find them enjoyable, so I think this is the next Lisa Jewell book I will be tackling. The next book on this list is a classic that I feel like it's a little sad that I haven't read it yet, and that is Psycho by Robert Bloch. I'm a big fan of Psycho. I've seen the movie a bunch. I've seen the TV show. I love Psycho. So I feel like it just makes sense that I should read the book. I've had this for at least 6 months now, and it's really short. Like, it's really short. So I don't really know why I haven't picked it up. You know, I feel like if it's shorter, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. If I'm not sure what I want to read, I'll just pick a really short book. So I don't really know why I haven't read it yet. Maybe it's because I know the plot so well that I feel like the book's gonna kind of bore me. I don't know, maybe not bore, but just if I already know what's, you know, what's gonna happen, what to expect, I feel like it's not gonna be as fun. That could be wrong because I enjoyed Rosemary's Baby and I knew how that ended, so I shouldn't judge it, but I do think 2023 is the year that I should finally read Psycho. Another book that I feel like is not necessarily a classic, but it's definitely a very well-known story, and I feel like it's kind of a shame that I haven't read it yet, and that is Ring by Koji Suzuki. Again, big fan of The Ring and Ringu. I enjoy both the films, more Ringu than The Ring. I'm not a huge fan of the American remake. I think it's okay, but it's not like my favorite. I've heard this is very different, and I know that, but I just want to know what it's like. I really like the story of Ringu, and so I kind of just want to see what the book's about. I kind of want to see the differences, I want to see the similarities, I want to see how I feel about the book and the movie after I've finished them both. I would love to read the book and then watch Ringu and then The Ring. I would love to do all three. Feels like I should, but we'll see, you know, how I'm feeling when I get to this book. But I would love to do that because I just want to compare them all and see, I just want to see the differences. And I have had my eye on this book for a really long time, so I feel like 2023 is the year that I need to read Ring. The next one is a newer book to my collection, and that is River Woman, River Demon by Jennifer Givhan. So I don't know too much about this book. I'm pretty sure I said in my haul that I had no idea what this book was about. I just bought it because I thought the cover was really, really pretty. I believe it has something to do with magic, witchcraft, and murders, which honestly, those three things sound up my alley, so I feel like I'll probably really enjoy this. I've never read anything by this author, but it is a newer book into my collection. Like I said, I have just recently got it within the last few months, so I feel like I'm more likely to pick this one up sooner than I would something that's been sitting on my shelves for a really long time, which is not a good thing. That is a bad thing, I know that, but you know, we all have our flaws and that one is one of mine, so I think I will be able to get to this one by the end of 2023. Next up is a new release, and that is the Fervor by Alma Katsu. I am so mad at myself for not having read this in 2022. It's been staring at me from my shelves, and every time I go to read it, I get distracted, and I don't know why. I do think this book has a really good chance of scaring me because I believe this has like spider demons in it, and it's a big part of the plot from what I've heard. I am deathly afraid of spiders. Like, I am straight up terrified of spiders. I cry, I have panic attacks. It's really embarrassing. I'm scared of spiders, okay? I just don't do well with them. So I genuinely think this could really scare me, especially because it has spiders in it. So that makes me want to read it extremely soon because I want to be scared. That's always what I want from horror books. So fingers crossed this actually does scare me because I think it has the makings to be really spooky. I don't know, but I'm hoping. This next one is also a 2022 release that I am very disappointed in myself for not having read yet, and that is The Resting Place by Camilla Sten. So I read The Lost Village, last year? Something like that, whenever it came out. I read The Lost Village, and I know everyone hated that book. I know everyone hated it. They did not like it. I really liked it. I am in the minority with that. I know everyone hated it. I enjoyed it a lot. So when I saw Camilla Sten was coming out with a new book, I knew I wanted to buy it. I knew I wanted to read it, and I have had this since it came out, and I have yet to read it. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea, but it's really infuriating and I want to read it because I think it sounds really good. I already know I really like Camilla Sten's writing, so I think this could be a winner. I've seen mixed reviews, but again, I'm not letting those sway me because I know not everyone liked The Lost Village and I really liked that one, so I feel like I could be in the minority with this one again and it could be like a new favorite or something. I just really feel like I need to read it in 2023 or I'm going to be very mad at myself. The next two books I'm going to show at the exact same time because they're kind of the same thing. They are different. They're two separate books, but you'll see what I mean when I show them. The next two on this list are Small Horrors and Quarter to Midnight by Darcy Coates. Are we surprised I have a Darcy on my 23 for 2023? You shouldn't be, because that's like my entire personality is reading Darcy Coates books. These are two short story collections and I have been saving them. I'll be honest, I've been putting them off because I know when I finish these, this will be it until Darcy releases her new stuff. And so I feel like I'm kind of waiting. I'm kind of holding them hostage, if you will, because I just don't want to run into a time where I just don't have a Darcy to read. That just sounds horrible to me and really, truly a horrific crime against humanity. And by humanity, I mean myself. So I feel like I need these and I'm trying to space out reading them because then when I have to wait for a new Darcy release, it won't be as traumatic for me. I'm being really, really dramatic. I know it's not that big of a deal. I'm literally joking, but I have been saving these just because I do want to have like Darcy padding in between new releases. So that's why these are on my list, because I'm sure I will be reading these in 2023, but I'm gonna put them off as long as possible so I don't have to go through a time where I don't have a Darcy to read. So this next book is also by an author that I absolutely love and adore, and it is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. Tiffany D. Jackson is one of my favorite authors of all time. I think she is incredibly talented. She just has a special gift for writing, and I have been putting off reading Monday's Not Coming all year long because I know this is like everybody's favorite, and I know that. And after reading White Smoke and loving White Smoke with like every fiber of my being, I love that book so much. I love it so much. I'm scared, okay? I'm scared to read this one because what if I love it more than White Smoke? And do you know what that's gonna do to me? It's gonna crush me. I've heard this wrecked people after they read it, and I don't know if I'm mentally ready for that, okay? Because White Smoke was just a lot for me, and so knowing that Monday's Not Coming is like everybody's favorite, it's been making me put it off because I'm scared, okay? I'm just really scared of reading it just because I think I'm gonna love it, okay? And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I know that I will be reading it in 2023, so that's why it's on this list. Next up is Theme Music by T. Marie Vandelli. I heard about this book from Book Talk. I remember when it went super crazy popular on Book Talk, and I bought it because I wanted to know what the hype was about, and I've just kind of let it sit on my shelves. I haven't really read it, but I know a lot of people have really enjoyed it. I think it's a psychological like thriller horror blend, but I also think it has like supernatural elements, like ghost elements, I think. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't tend to really look into plots before I buy books. I kind of just buy books, which leads me to the problem I have behind me, but we're not talking about that. So I really want to get to this one in 2023. I think it sounds like I could really, really love it, and I just kind of want to know what everyone's talking about. I'm a sucker for that, okay? If everyone's talking about a book, you best believe that I'll probably buy it because I want to know what everyone's saying, and I feel like I'm getting left out, so I don't want to feel like that. So speaking of a book that everyone talks about, this is Sadie by Courtney Summers. So this is like a YA thriller with a podcast element. I've heard so many people talk about this book. I've heard so many people love this book, and I feel really behind in not having read it yet. And I don't know, I think it sounds like it could be really good. I have read another book by Courtney Summers. I don't remember, it was the Project. It was about a cult. I didn't really like that one very much. I give it like 3 stars, 3.5 or something like that. I liked some of it, but I didn't like all of it like together. So I'm hoping this one will be more my style, more my speed. I've heard nothing but like really, really good things about this book, so that's why I'm including it. This is another one of my favorite authors, and that is Dark Across the Bay by Anya Alborn. This has also been sitting on my shelves for forever. It is fairly short. I believe this is like an isolated setting cabin sort of deal too, so I feel like it doesn't make sense why I haven't read this yet, because I love Anya Alborn's writing and I love isolated setting thrillers and horror, so I don't know why I haven't picked this one up. I have a feeling I'll really enjoy it because I've really enjoyed almost everything that Anya Alborn's written, so I just have high hopes for it, and I feel like it doesn't make sense that I haven't read this one yet. Then we have Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu. I don't know if that's how you say that name, but every time I see it, that's how I expect I'm supposed to say it, so that's why I did that. I don't know if that's correct. This is like a classic. It's what inspired Dracula. I told you I've been getting into vampires recently. I've realized that I don't actually dislike vampire stories, so I felt like this was a good one to get into because everyone seems to really love it. It's really short. I've heard that it's really, really good, a little bit like spicy, so I'm just interested in it. I hope I really enjoy it, and I feel like it'll be a very short and easy read to just like pull off my shelves when I don't know what I feel like reading. Then we have Katie by Michael Mcdowell. I bought this because of Katrina Brown. I love her and she always talks about this book, and I feel like I might really like this book. I know that it could turn out to be not my favorite because I did not love Cold Moon Over Babylon by Michael Mcdowell, but I feel like this one feels a little bit different in terms of like what kind of horror I'm gonna get, and this one sounds like it's gonna be a little bit more like bloody and like gory and like slashery, I guess. So I feel like I have a better chance of liking this one than I do Cold Moon Over Babylon. So I'm hoping to give this one a chance. I really love the cover. I think the cover is really, really, really cool. And I just want to read more from Michael Mcdowell. I want to give him another chance and see if any of his other work is more my speed. Then we have a new release that I did not get to yet, and that's why it's on this list. It is House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. We all know that after I read The Year of the Witching, I was obsessed, and I immediately went out and bought House of Hunger, and I have yet to read it. I was trying to read it in November, and I just didn't make it. I just did not make it, and so I absolutely know without a doubt I will be reading it in 2023, which is why it's on this list. Just because I have complete and utter faith in myself that I will pick this one up. It is like a vampire story. I think it sounds really good, and I really enjoy Alexis Henderson's writing, so I think this has a good chance of getting read fairly soon and probably just before 2023 is over. Next up is The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon. This is the last Jennifer McMahon book I own that I need to read. After absolutely loving The Winter People, I really wanted to read more by Jennifer McMahon. I didn't love The Children on the Hill by Jennifer McMahon. I thought it was okay. It just wasn't what I wanted, and it didn't really live up to The Winter People for me. So I am excited to give The Drowning Kind a try. I've heard a lot of people really, really, really love this one. I do believe it's more on the folk horror side or like folk thriller side. So that worries me just a touch because folk horror is very hit or miss for me personally, but I really just like Jennifer McMahon's writing, so I really want to make this one a priority and try to get this read by the end of 2023. And the last and final book on my list is Familiar Spirit by Lisa Tuttle. So I recently got into the paperbacks from Hell. I feel like I just really liked the ones I read and I wanted to give more a try. I picked this one up because I read A Nest of Nightmares by Lisa Tuttle and absolutely loved it. It was an amazing short story collection. I thought her writing was fantastic and just so up my alley and just what I wanted to read, that I wanted to read more from Lisa Tuttle. This is the only one that I could find, and I don't know what it's about. Honestly, I don't care. I just want to read more from this author because I loved her writing so much, and I'm hoping this one lives up to the hype of A Nest of Nightmares. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's a good one to add. Plus it's pretty short. It's not going to be too like time consuming or hard to read. So I feel like it's a good book to have on my list, and I just really hope I really like it. And there you have it, my friends. Those are 23 books I want to read in 2023. I cannot believe that I'm saying 2023. That hurts my brain to think about too much. Honestly, I'm trying not to think too much about it, because if I think about how December is really close to being over, it freaks me out a little bit. So I'm trying not to think too hard about that and focusing on these great books that I'm hoping to get read instead. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what kind of books I want to read in 2023 and seeing kind of my thought process in why I included these books and what my expectations of myself for reading in 2023 are. So let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these, if you loved them, if you hated them. Let me know what books you are making a priority in 2023. I would love to know. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. That way I can keep providing you with this type of content in the future. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to my channel. We can become friends, talk about horrifying books, thrilling books, romance books, manga, all that good fun stuff. And with that being said, I hope you are having a great day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!